Is going to show you one of my last solo Grandmaster Nightfalls ever that I make, as the weekly feature GM node is about to be sunset in just a few short days. I figured that would be an opportunity for me to do a solo GM whilst I farm some exotics, because that's what I'm doing, the mobility intellect star exotics. While I do that, I figured I would make a video and use a build that's been exceptional in the game for years at this point. It's been a very consistent build. Despite us getting prismatic, despite us getting all those things, there's one build that prismatic does not have. And this is one of them I'm going to show to you. Now, I made a video about the end of the era with weekly feature GMs. If you didn't see that video, then go and watch it. I'll probably link that video because it's an important one. It's important to my channel as well. So if you have not seen that video, go and watch it. So the build that I'm talking about today is the Dawn Chorus Daybreak Super build, which is very important to the game and will be getting buffed next season because of the intellect stat getting a rework. Right now the intellect stat doesn't do much for us in the game, but next week it's going to do a lot. And if you rock a tier 200 intellect stat or super stat with Dawn Chorus, with Daybreak, you're going to put a tremendous amount of super damage output, which will stack with Dawn Chorus. Now, Dawn Chorus is not an Edge of Fate exotic. It will not get the armor resistance, but I don't think it's going to matter as much as what we believe right now anyways. And you're still going to be able to rock a Dawn Chorus super stat build next week. Well, you won't get it that quick, but after so many weeks, you'll eventually get a stat. You'll eventually get a build that you can optimize around it. But it's exceptionally very good. It improves a lot of things revolving around Scorch and all sorts of things. You can really spec into it. So the build is Daybreak, Phoenix Dive. You can go with Rift though. It's up to you. Phoenix Dive for more aggression. Celestial Fire, very good for this. Finger Snaps better on Sunbracer build. On Dawn Chorus build, I prefer Celestial Fire. Heal and Grenade. Aspects was Touch of Flame. Hellion's going to be fantastic and will be fantastic next week. Aspects or fragments are Ember of Solace for double up on Radiant Restoration. Ember of Ashes for more Scorch stacks because it stacks with Dawn Chorus. Ember of Torches for Radiant. And Ember of Empyrean will give us an extension on Radiant and Restoration when you rock into it. Okay, so here's the armor mods. Won't go too much into it because there'll be a dim link anyways. Here's the artifact mods. Won't go too much into it because the artifact's about to be sunset. What I will say is limit breaks a 30% damage bonus. Next week you'll be able to get a 45% damage bonus. So it'll be even higher than what you see today. But there are ignition reworks. Bear that in mind. Okay, so weapon wise, I'm using Riptide to stun some overloads and unstops. Next season, this will still stun overloads, but it won't stun unstops because they're reworking that. And I'm using Dragon's Breath. Dragon's Breath is fantastic pairing with Dawn Chorus, enhances the weapon. It's just a fantastic weapon in the game, and I foresee it to still be fantastic next season. Unbelievable weapon. So primaries. I went with this weapon. It's a very special weapon. Heal clip weapons are special in the game. Make sure that you look in your vault for any heal clip solar primary weapons. Now the reason I went with the sidearm is to promote aggressive gameplay, and I'm aware that a lot of you don't like scout rifles and don't like pulse rifles and bows as well. I see a lot of comments about I hate using scout rifles, I hate using them. You know, and I see that a lot, and it's like, why? A lot of scouts are very good in the game, and you can play very aggressive in Destiny 2 with a scout rifle. Polaris Lance is going to be a very useful weapon next season, and you can speedrun GM content with a scout rifle like this. It has been proven in the past that you can do that, and you will be able to do that next season with the artifact mods. Polaris Lance will stun both barrier champs and unstops next season because of artifact mods. There are lots of other primaries. So I could have used a Baron Action. That's going to be a good weapon next season. Other heal clip weapons I could have used. No Survivors. Time Worn Wayfarer. However, this needs a buff. A lot of people swear by this weapon, but it's not that good right now. But with Solar Surge, with the 25% buff, when we can apply that, I believe Surge is still 25%, right? It'll make it a little bit better. We haven't had Solar Surge since October last year. Maybe that's why I haven't liked this particular scout rifle in GM content, because I've never been allowed to overcharge the weapon. It doesn't hit hard enough. Whilst it's alright, there are better weapons than this. I'm just saying that if you want to do a heel clip solar primary, then this is one of them. We've got some other. This hand cannon's exceptional. It's good. The King's Fall hand cannon's also really good. But I just figured I would have a special mention of this hand cannon. There's going to be hand cannon mods next season as well. It's just a fantastic hand cannon for many reasons. Tyranny of Heaven, obviously an amazing bow. There's no bow mods next season though, so that's a bit of a problem. Staccato is also a nice weapon. I've got multiple rolls on it, just figured I would mention it. Adorative's a very nice weapon as well. Heel clip weapons are. Just because of the survivability aspect of them. Callous Mini Tool's been exceptional in the game for such a long time, but it doesn't have heel clip, just to take note of that. But yeah, that was one of my favourite builds that I use and I've been using in the game, is the Dawn Chorus Daybreak build on with the run. Okay, so like I said, this is going to be one of my last solo GMs ever, so I figured I would make it special with a build that's one of my favourites in the game, basically, that's non-prismatic. So, like I said at the start of the video, we're using this sidearm. I'm going to show off how good it can be. I picked the sidearm over a Scout or a Pulse to promote more aggressive gameplay, and it's barrier sidearm right now, so I figured that would be better for the entertainment of the run. I'm going to get a DB shot down in middle, a healing nade, a Helion for restoration, chain killing, and now we're going to go in with my primary. DB clears out all of middle. Look at super energy to my left. I've already got half a bar. I'll stun overload with Riptide, then DB, then go in with primary damage plus Helion damage. Boom, melts the overload. You'll be able to do that exact rotation next season, because Chill Clip will still stun overloads. And overloads are the hardest champs in the game. So I figured the Chill Clip situation isn't going to be as bad as what you think. I'll tell you what's going to be the problem with Stasis not stun and unstops is Stasis mono classes, as in Revenant Hunter, Titan Glacial Quake, Warlock Winter's Wrath, or whatever it's called. Those classes are going to get hit hard with those nerfs. They were already terrible. They're going to be worse now. So, yes, although saying that, there's Frost Armor build going on, but you could just use Prismatic with Stasis. You know what I'm saying? I haven't read those mods exactly, but you could just do that. You know, you've got Stasis Supers on Prismatic. So I've got Super already. I'm going to skim her past, going to do a couple of tricks. I'm going to get a Helion, play aggressive, get a stun with DB, then use my Radiant Melee. This will give me limit break. Yeah? And then we're going to use a super here. I get knocked back with a revenge slam off this Phalanx. He was mad that I killed his brother in action. And then we're just going to keep going. We've got Bolt Charge, of course, as well, because we're using the mods. I'm going to get a DB shot down on this champ. Then we'll go in with the sidearm, melt the barrier champ shield very quickly. And then we're just going to melt with Helion. Helion's fantastic in the game. And I've heard criticism of Helion recently because Bungie's making an exotic featured around it and people aren't happy with it. I tell you what, I'm really happy with it. I don't know why yous aren't. This solar shrapnel thing is going to be very OP. You just watch it. Yous have all said, I don't like it. I don't like, you know, you. I bet you it's good. So be reserved on your opinion about the new exotics. I like them all. I like all the new featured Edge of Fate exotics. The Beyblade one, yes, they had a good idea. The Solar Titan one, yes, it's a very good idea. And the Warlock one was a good idea. Every single one of them is. And don't forget, I've seen every single exotic, armor-wise, in all of its perceptions, in every meta sandbox ever since Destiny 1. So I know what's good and what's not good as an idea. And all of those ideas were very good. I think you're being too harsh. The new Edge of Fate exotics look really good. and I'm interested to see the build potential of those Edge of Fate exotics. So don't believe what other people say to you about them being bad. Reserve it to your own opinion. You are your own man, and I am as well. And people saying it's bad, I don't care what they say. I will play with it myself, and if I figure out it's good, I'm happy with that. I don't care about what such and such. They're just clickbaiting you. Don't be fooled by clickbait. We are 2025. Don't be fooled by it. I learned not to be fooled by clickbait a long time ago. You should learn it too. Alright, so I'm going to take the Hydra down first, just because it's beneficial to do that, as that spawns in all the extra adds at the back of the map quicker. And it's just nice to kill the Hydra before we spawn in the barriers, because we can strategize. So now I can strategize. Hydra's down. I'll get rid of the explosive barrels. And then we're going to focus on the barriers. Obviously, this is Warden and nothing, as it's one of my last GMs, and this is one of my favourite GMs to do. So I'm going to get a DB shot down, wait for barrier shield. Let's just see how exactly this plays out, because I think I might end up messing up on this. Let's just see. So yeah, train comes past. We don't get the stun exactly how we wanted. So I'm going to end up... I get the shield break, which is good. I get weak. Healing aid goes in. I get a DB down and then a super, because I was going to pop super anyways. But we was a bit slow at taking down that barrier, but that's alright. So my super is to deal with the Minotaurs at the back of the map. They are the threat. Also, the adds that are spawning in middle are going to get killed by a train. So playing aggressive like this is actually decent. As long as you got restoration chain killing like this, and we can play really aggressive, it's really nice. Because I understand fully how this room works. If you don't understand how this room works, you wouldn't be allowed to do it like this. You've got to understand ad spawns. And if you understand that you can do that, as long as your build promotes it, then you're fine to do it. Now I'm going to use a second barrier for intellect manipulation. Look at Superbar left hand side. So that's why I left him alive, because I could farm him for super. Yeah, and we can get a finisher kill for special ammo, etc. And then what I'm going to do is use a DB shot, Radiant, Limit Break, Daybreak, Dawn, Chorus, Helion, stacking so much stuff together, look, and we just melt this guy. Remember, it's no solar surge that. You add 25% damage on top of that. By the way, that's multiplied. Remember, damage is multiplied in this game. Melee damage is additive, that's different. But other damage is multiplied. So when you add 10%, it's not just 10%, is it? Because it's multiplied with everything else. You're stacking a lot of things. Probably they should go to additive damage. I think the entire game should actually be additive damage. That would put builds in check. That would allow dungeon bosses not allowed to be solo one-cycled and raid bosses to be memed on. That would sort a lot of things out, actually, if you think about it. They should have just standardized all damage to be additive. It would make damage buffs less impactful when stacking rather than multiplying them. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? But we'll have to see exactly how things pan out. And exact things. I'm not just talking about, you know, hearsay. I'm talking about, no, will this be good? Will that be good? Because that's what's going to end up happening on week 1, week 2. You won't have time to be messing around with, oh, well, is this good? And then giving it a few hours. No, you'll give it a test of half an hour. If it's no good for GM content or whatever it might be that you're doing, right, well, then you have to scrap the build and do something else. But you'll have to have a good idea, because you're going to be spending very useful materials. And if you're spending the wrong materials on wrong builds, you're going to get into trouble. And you're going to end up losing man hours. That's why you need to watch YouTube content and Twitch content. And you're going to have to filter out all of the clickbait stuff and all the real people. You're going to have to start filtering out who's telling you rubbish and who's telling you the right stuff. If you want solo stuff, watch solo players. They will give you the key to everything that you would want for solo content. If it's Fireteam speedrun content, watch those applicable players. Don't be baited next week, or now at least, by things that go on. Seriously, trust me. Because that'll lose your time, that. And if you don't have a lot of time next week, don't be wasting your time by getting clickbaited by the wrong people. It just, I'm not going to be allowed to have my time wasted either by people. I just won't. And I'm fortunate because I've got a lot of knowledge in me, so I'll be all right. I shouldn't be too bad. So the solar build there just melted the entire room. We melting champs, melting unstops, etc. Helion doing lots of work. Look, I got my super back. Got my super back. The double barriers in middle. I want to capitalize on both of them for special ammo. We can stack bricks, of course, because it's, you know, it's been a relatively easy season, by the way. I would say that you might get a bit of a shock next season because barrier champs are, sorry, all champs are about to become a lot harder because you don't have defib blast. The bolt charge is available on all builds, which means you get a bolt charge strike on a champ for any stun you get on a champ. That has been OP. It's made champions very easy. Champions are about to become a lot harder next week as opposed to right now in the game. So they're going to get buffed. Indirect buff a champ's getting. A DB shot goes down. That's what's so good about DB, is we can stun lock rooms and doors to manipulate ads. And look, we're just melting these barriers and unstops. Unstop pushes me, which I knew that he would. DB plus radiant melee. That on its own will just about kill a champ. Everything else you do is assistive damage and you'll just melt that champ quicker. Sidearm's doing fantastic things for me. It's melting down the ads rather quick. If you are in GM content and you are required of using a CQC weapon, this is one of the best this is one of the best close quarter weapons in the game. It competes with Callous Mini Tool, does this weapon. That's how good it is. The reason why people don't talk about it is because you don't have the roll. Make sure you've got the roll. You can focus it at the gunsmith. I absolutely believe that you can. So go and focus it. Spend those last few engrams on this weapon, because this weapon will be useful to us at least next week for 2-3 weeks. Maybe longer than that. We'll have to see how the new tier weapon system plays out. Okay, capture point C, DB goes down. Whenever there's a lot of ads around, I'll always get a DB shot down. That's why Dragon's Breath is so good, is because it's doing single target damage, champ damage, and ad clear. If you can get any exotic in this game to do multiple things for you, then the weapon's automatically good. Let's give you an example. I got weak there. So if you have a weapon that does high single target damage, but doesn't do good ad clear, then it's automatically weaker. Like Thunderlord does single target damage and ad clear rather well, actually very well in the game. Whereas there is other weapons, I'm trying to think of other weapons right now that aren't, you know, have like Whisper of the Worm. Whisper of the Worm has high single target damage. It has good long distance damage because it goes for a long time, but it doesn't do ad clear, does it? Dragon's Breath does both. It does good total damage if you pair it with a good special weapon. Whisper of the Worm is very one-dimensional, and a boss would have to be catered to precision damage for you to use it. If it's a big old boss in a big room with a big crit and you need a long damage phase, Whisper goes on for sure. But if that's not the case and the boss is very mobile, maybe swords are better, maybe DB is better, maybe other weapons are better. So you need to know that there's weapons that are different tools, but if you can get a weapon to go across multiple areas of the game, single target damage, ad clear, burst damage, and utility and ammo efficiency, if it does all of those things, it automatically becomes a meta weapon. Automatic. Dragon's Breath's always been meta and still has been meta ever since it launched, 2023 or whatever, 2 years. You've had is it been 2 years? 18 months? Whatever it's been. Yeah, it's always been good. Right, DB shot goes down. Always lead with that, then get your shield break, look. And then the ignitions kill your barrier. So barrier goes down first. Then we get Helion. Now I should kill the Overload first. So, but it's fine. It actually works out just fine. But I would rather have killed the Overload first, then the Unstop. Because the Overload can present more of a problem than the Unstop can. Like, if this was next season, I would have been actually scolded for that. Yeah, because Chill Clip would only stun the Overload, so I would have had to stun the Overload first and not the Unstop. It would have been the other way around. I know that you might not care about that right now, but it is an observation, and those mini observations will be the difference between life or death next week. When we're talking champs, I'm not talking raid, I'm talking champs, GM content, etc., ultimate content. I'm talking that on that basis. We melt all the champs. We have super. This is what's so good. This is the party trick of Dawn Chorus Daybreak. Right, Dragon's Breath goes in. Then it's all Riptide damage. For some reason I'm getting immune damage there. I don't know why, but I am doing damage. Look at his health. Another DB shot goes in because he auto reloads. Then it's more Riptide. Then, when it gets dangerous, boom. Super comes out. Limit Break shouldn't, actually he's not applied, I don't think. But that's fine. Look at the damage. We also get a solar based exotic because I've done the GM with a solar subclass. I have a theory that on what class you're on is what exotic you get, because this has been happening all day. I get sun braces. Believe what you want to believe. But that was a solar GM on this. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.